We are here with Baby's First Watch List After Dark. It's the Oscars 2023. I'm Erin.
I'm Tom.
And we have Uncle Nick P here.
Back again.
My eyes see Oppenheimer.
Oh, God.
He released a statement today.
And he blamed the producers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, he was weird.
Well, what happened was he said that the producers told him because they had already introduced all 10 of the movies
You don't
throughout
have
the
to
night, you don't have to go out and say all the noms.
Okay, but why did he act so weird?
Yeah, it doesn't explain all the other stuff.
All right, so today, what are we going to do, Tom?
We'll just kind of run through the awards, I guess, and then we have a little couple of bonus questions at the end if we have time.
Sure.
So I guess I'll just pull them up, and then do you want to go in show order or just below the line up?
Let's let Uncle Nick P
Uncle Lick.
Uncle Nick P decide.
I think the show order, we'll just kind of go through it quick.
All right, let's see. I got to
because there's certain things as they're awarded, your mind starts to think that other stuff may happen down the road.
Right. All right, so we'll do it in sort of chronological order. So are we going to re-quote the entire monologue, or are we just going to jump into Best Supporting Actress?
Well, I didn't see the monologue.
Yeah, we didn't see the monologue. We were driving home.
Yeah.
What did you think of the monologue? Was it anything special? Or
Jimmy, it was a little not as good as last year, but what was nice, he didn't dig too deep at the movies of the easy apple of no one's watched these movies. He didn't do it like that.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, it kind of dragged a little bit, but afterwards the show was in a great rhythm and stuff, and the early start time this year,
I thought it was pretty good overall.
Yeah.
And I love a 7:00 start time.
Oh yeah,
so much better. I actually stayed awake the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah, first time in years.
Years.
And you're 6 months pregnant, so
vibes.
The Oscars got to keep that up.
Did you watch Abbott Elementary afterwards, or?
I watched the cold open part with Bradley Cooper.
Nice.
The first 2 minutes.
And then I taped it, so I will watch it.
Yeah, so we had the monologue, and then we had Best Supporting Actress, which we also missed.
Yeah, but I saw the speech.
Oh, you did? I was putting our baby to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, actress in a supporting role obviously went to Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, which is a surprise to no one who was following basically anything this entire award season.
Yeah. And nowadays, since you have so many regional awards and stuff, I think she might be one of the most awarded performances of all time. She was a sweep throughout the whole season and stuff.
Was Downey also?
There's a couple Goslings early on, but mostly Downey. Yeah.
All right. So what we did on Twitter was, wow, it's been a long time since I've been on Twitter. What we did on Instagram was we ranked our above the line candidates or nominees based on what we liked the most. And so if you haven't seen those, check that out. But Nick, we want to see what your rankings were for some of these categories. So for Best Supporting Actress, how would you rank them from say 5 to 1 in order of who you liked the most?
Starting at 5, I would probably go America Ferrera. I will say I liked all the performances.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. Danielle Brooks, Emily Blunt, Jodie. I love Jodie Foster. She was awesome in Naya, and I think Divine Joy was number 1 for me.
I think that was your exact order.
We had the exact same order.
Queen.
Did I send? I forgot if I sent the rankings to you.
No.
Did I? I don't think so. Oh, I will. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So after that was Best Animated Short, which went to The War Is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. What did you think of that?
You're saying it wrong. It's War Is Over. It's in all caps. The title is wild.
Oh, I'm looking at Wikipedia.
Oh, it's not
all caps. Yeah, but on the poster it is.
Yeah. That's
what'd you think?
It's probably one of the weaker ones in the category. That's just like vote.
You don't have to rank every category, by the way, if you don't want to.
Oh, you want me to rank it? I can, but
No. I'm saying you don't. You don't have
no,
to.
no, no. But that was just like lazy Oscar voters. I feel like just going off the title because once you see Johnny
Yeah.
Yoko, um,
Sean was involved in it, right?
yes, he was like a co-producer, and he came up on
Yeah.
stage and stuff.
We went through all of the Beatles' children 2 days
Oh.
ago.
Yeah, for no reason. Legitimately no reason.
No reason. We just did it.
Who has the? I assume. No, I don't know. Who has the most kids?
Paul's got 5.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a lot of kids. John Lennon only had 2.
Doesn't Ringo have like 4?
Ringo has 3, and George Harrison had 1. I think that's all right.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't a director doing some like Beatle passion project this year with like 4 separate?
Oh, Sam Mendes
Oh wow.
Oh,
is doing 4 separate Beatles like biopics or something from each of their perspectives. I don't know if it's like the same event,
Okay.
but somebody online was like, the 3 of them are going to be normal, and then the Ringo Starr one's just going to be like some hallucinogenic, like completely like a side story.
Ringo's. No, that's not how it was. I took the Beatles and Their World for my college capstone.
We'll have to
And
cover all 4 of them then.
That would be the George Harrison one.
We'll have to cover all 4 of them then.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so next up we have Best Animated Feature, which I would say is like a mild surprise.
I told you. I warned
I
you,
was
Tom. I
surprised.
said you had
You
that
did.
L word too early. It was,
Okay, I will accept that.
and I just think this one. You could say what happened.
Yeah. So for most of the season, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was the favorite, and The Boy and the Heron, the Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli movie, sort of snuck in a little bit here and there, and then it won. Was it the BAFTA?
BAFTA and
Globe.
Globes.
Yeah. So it won the Oscar as well.
And Miyazaki wasn't there.
So he had. Yeah, of course.
Neither was Wes
No.
Anderson.
We'll get to Wes.
Which one did you like better, Nick?
I think Boy and the Heron. I love Spider-Man. It's one of those movies I'm on the team of like until the third one comes out is kind of incomplete right now.
Yeah.
But I think it will get rewarded with the last one as well.
It kind of falls into those like Empire Strikes Back, kind of like Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers of thing where it's like it's kind of hard to like look at a second in a trilogy and treat it as a complete movie.
Yeah, sure.
So from that, I'm just a little surprised that they went off the board.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Boy and the Heron, but it seemed to me that Across the Spider-Verse was going to be pretty well set.
Too bad you were wrong.
It's once in my life. Oh, in that category, I just wanted to shout out Robot Dreams because it wasn't a contender really to win, but I loved it.
Strong New York City vibes. Highly recommend.
Even though it's like a French-Spanish movie. Definitely watch that if you get the chance. Where was it? Was it on Netflix?
Robot Dreams?
Or
Nemona's on Netflix. Elemental's on Disney Plus. Robot Dreams may be coming to streaming in like August or May. Because it's not doing a theatrical run until May. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, if you happen to see Robot Dreams anywhere, definitely check it out because that was a nice movie. Next up, we have Best Original Screenplay,
Oh, yeah.
which went to Anatomy of a Fall,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was it basically the favorite the whole time too? I know. I guess The Holdovers probably won a couple early.
Yeah. The screenplays are tricky this year because WGA, a big precursor, is not until
Right.
afterwards because of the strike. So people don't have too much
Right.
to go off of.
And Barbie was an adapted, which was kind of inconsistent with other awards.
And we kind of avoided a huge awkward moment last night if the Holdovers would have won after what story broke yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, that it's allegations of plagiarism.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I looked into them a little bit. I don't think that on the page it's as quite as obvious as the guy claims that it is, but the sort of background that Payne had read it a couple of times, including right before he met with David Hemmingson, who wrote the holdover screenplay, it's a little shady, but I don't know about plagiarism, you know? I think I would have to sort of see what else comes out about that. But it definitely would have been awkward had the holdovers won. And shout out May December
I love May December.
It's
for being in that
sole
category.
nomination. Deserves some more.
Yeah. Sammy Birch wrote May December, and her husband came up with it. And I listened to an episode of the podcast Script Apart with her, and it's a podcast where this guy interviews screenwriters about their first draft of like famous movies. And I listened to the May December episode, and she also wrote the Lost Coyote versus Acme movie
Yeah.
that's like being buried by HBO
Mm-hmm.
or whoever.
I just saw something that who stars in it?
Is it John Cena or something?
No. One of the SNL guys. Will something. I
Forte?
forget. Yeah, I think Will Forte. He said it's amazing.
It's Will Forte and John Cena.
There you go. This was my order for original screenplay. I did 5 Maestro, 4 Past Lives, 3 May December, 2 Holdovers, and 1 I did Anatomy of a Fall because I just don't think you beat the instrumental version of PIMP.
One of the strongest moments of the year, and just the writing around Messi the dog.
I agree.
Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful stuff.
Good stuff. And I really liked the ending.
My order was number 5 Maestro, number 4 Past Lives as well. Number 3 I put Anatomy of a Fall. I predicted it to win, but for some reason there was something about it that just didn't bring it to that next level for me. Number 2 I had May December, and number 1 I had the Holdovers. I plagiarized or not.
It's a great screenplay.
It's a great script.
And I do love May December. The top 3 it could have changed for me.
Yeah, I think Past Lives and Maestro. Past Lives definitely 4, Maestro definitely 5.
Definitely.
Yeah, what's your ranking?
I would go I think I'm a little higher on Past Lives than you guys. But I do agree that the top 3 are a step above Maestro and Past Lives.
I didn't mean to say that I didn't like Past Lives. I think I think it's strong, but I think that the top 3 are just all really
to be
good.
different, I'll say May December is my number 1. I thought it was very layered.
Nice.
It is. That was a wonderful
sneakily.
movie.
Yes.
And it was funny. Mm-hmm. Good movie.
Then they did, adapted screenplay back to back. And that went to American Fiction.
Yep.
Which performed very well.
I expected it to win. I
Same.
chose it to win. And I actually put it at number 2.
Same.
So I did 5 Poor Things because listen, it's just not my movie. Number 4, I put it Barbie. I didn't love Barbie, to be honest, and I just feel like there's a lot of like, Barbie wasn't nominated for Barbie. Like it's so against what Barbie stands. Like I'm just like okay, like whatever. I didn't think the movie was good enough.
The Academy didn't either.
I just didn't think it was good enough. I thought Ken was good enough, and I don't care how that sounds because it's just true. Number 3, I put Zone of Interest because I thought that movie was really, really good and interesting, but the screenplay wasn't my favorite aspect of it. 2, I put American Fiction, and then number 1, I did Oppy because I just thought Oppy was so good, and it's like probably my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. But I did pick American Fiction to win, and I'm glad it won.
Yeah, me too. I liked Cord Jefferson's
great
speech
Yeah.
about sort of awarding the mid-budget
Yes.
movies and making sure that they get made. And what do you say? Like make 20
instead of $10
million movies
Yes.
instead of yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree with that. My top 5. I mean, my order was number 5. I put Barbie, And again, I liked Barbie.
I like Barbie too.
I mean, I just thought that with the ideas it presented, it could have been done a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, I put Oppenheimer. Not my favorite part of the movie. But I do think that there are memorable moments in the screenplay, of course. And it was a screenplay that was able to hold my attention for 3 hours, so there's something to be said about it. Number 3, I put Poor Things because I thought it was hilarious. Like the sort of little witticisms and the back and forths and the Willem Dafoe nonsense and Ruffalo's lines, like his comebacks and all that, they were ridiculous. Number 2, I put American Fiction. As we talked about on our American Fiction episode, I thought that American Fiction was good. I loved the ideas. I loved the kind of split between the family life and the sort of book life, even if I don't think it necessarily landed the tone correctly. It was just missing something to elevate it to greatness for me, but it was very good, and I thought that the screenplay was the best part of the movie, and Jeffrey Wright, of course. But and then number 1, I put The Zone of Interest because outside of the sound, which we will get to, was a very, very deserving win for The Zone of Interest. I just think that to keep me watching these revolting people, like you gotta keep it engaging, and I thought that the screenplay 100% did that. I was just like cringing at some of the things that these people were saying and doing in the face of everything going on around them, and I thought it was extremely effective in advancing what the movie was going for. So that's my
I think
top
I'm
5.
the same as you, Tom. Adapt is always interesting because how they choose to adapt from the source, stick true to the source, or go completely different. Like even Killers of the Flower Moon wasn't nominated, but the way they went about adapting that, interesting. As a question for you guys are huge readers. I know that. Has there been times where after Oscars you've been more tempted to read the source material of what a movie was based off of?
No.
Yes, I am actually not really Oscars because it wasn't nominated, but Killers of the Flower Moon, I'm very interested in reading the book. As for the others this year, I think Erasure would be interesting, the book that American Fiction was based off of, but I haven't like bought it or read it or anything. I'm not super interested in the others because Barbie was weirdly just based off of like the like IP itself. It's not like based off of like a specific book or anything like that. So I have nothing there unless I just go back and watch all the Barbie movies. All like,
There's some good ones.
But other than that, not really. Oppenheimer, I was very interested when I watched the movie, but at this point, I could take or leave it. And then Zone of Interest, I don't know, maybe. I think that author is like really, really highly acclaimed. Martin Amis. I don't know if that's how you actually say his last name, Amis, but maybe one day. But it really depends on the script. I'm more interested in reading something like a May December type story, even though it was original.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually lean towards my favorites being in the original category. And that's probably the same this year, even though I did love a couple of these.
Yeah, once I watch a movie, I'm like, I don't care about the material.
Next up, makeup and hairstyling, which was the beginning of a little bit of a mini sweep for Poor Things.
Yeah.
This one I completely agree with. I think
All the other ones, they just made them old.
Yeah, so the other nominees were Golda, which I didn't see, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Society of the Snow.
Okay, not Oppy. Maestro being nominated for that is like so embarrassing.
How about Golda though? Kind of similar aesthetic.
Yeah, they made them old.
Yeah.
Is that what they did in the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Old?
When you go to the beach that makes you old?
The beach.
It's a great question.
So what is Golda? I know it's Helen Mirren.
Yeah, me and 6 other people saw it probably. It's very baity. It's just a Helen Mirren performance that had some sneaky actress contention early on for a week and then went away. No one has to see this movie.
Okay, good to know.
It's good to know, yeah.
Is Society of the Snow the plane crash one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a few different people tell me to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't get around to the international features this year, but I do want to see that one. Any thoughts on Poor Things? I think it was a deserving win here.
Yeah. The thing for the past couple of years is sometimes you correlate the makeup win with one of the top acting wins, and kind of kept true here, even though it
Hmm.
wasn't the same character, but very
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
interesting.
Well, the hairstyling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people forget that it's makeup and hairstyle, and people
Yeah.
just focus on the makeup.
Production design. Again, of course, Poor Things took the win. I thought, and we might as well just talk about it with costume design as well. Costume design had the memorable John Cena segment come
yeah, I
before
thought
it.
that was funny.
I thought that was one of the best moments of the night.
I will say, I think that Barbie was not more deserving, but I really thought that the production design and costume design for Barbie were like really, really well done. And I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't win at least one of them.
I thought they were going to split at least 2-1. You
The
know,
costuming in particular, I think, was so well researched, and you could like spend years looking at all the costumes for Barbie and everything connecting to a Barbie thing, and it was done so well. So I am a little disappointed about that loss for dear old Barbie.
yeah. I mean, Barbie would have deserved it for sure, but I think the Poor Things was also spectacular in terms of both costume and production design.
And chogs,
Yes,
chicken dogs.
so many chogs. At least one.
There was one chog.
Any other thoughts on these categories? Well, the John Cena segment. We just gotta
It was so funny.
like him when Kimmel was like, "Oh, there's a streaker." I thought it was gonna be like, I didn't think it was gonna be John Cena, who was just standing
Guillermo.
behind the.
You know, I gotta say, some of the bits for this Oscars was really funny.
Better than normal. The Melissa McCarthy one was went on too long.
I really thought the John Mulaney stuff was hilarious.
When John Mulaney started talking about Field of Dreams,
I
oh,
was
it
like,
was
did he watch Baby's First Watch List?
literally, it's like
Seriously?
straight out of our Field of Dreams episode.
seriously, we would love to have Mulaney on the podcast.
I would love to have him host the Oscars
Yeah,
or John Cena.
John Cena, he just doesn't care, man.
No,
He's the rare like star like that who just doesn't care about his image. Like he cares about his image, but he'll do anything for a joke.
yeah, I love that.
I like I was gonna say the comparison between him and The Rock is like it's night and day.
I did not like The Rock's outfit for the Oscars. Just so you know.
So while we're on costume design, you want to talk some outfits, like red carpet
Yes.
outfits?
Yeah, sure. I thought Divine Joy Randolph looked amazing. I thought America Ferrera looked amazing. I thought Danielle Brooks looked amazing. I really liked that Coleman Domingo went more classic for the Oscar ceremony.
He was like, "Listen, the Globes are the Globes, the BAFTAs are the BAFTAs. This is the Oscars."
Yeah. I wish there was more color on the carpet. It was a lot of black, which I only wear black, so I do like black. But
Oh, I thought you meant the carpet, because didn't they change the carpet color last
oh,
year?
to like
It was
gold.
the champagne.
Yeah, champagne.
Champagne, that was it.
It was to me it was a lot of either people wearing black or wearing more like muted tones, and a lot of like sea inspired, like shells or the ocean, whatever.
And not cool stuff like puka shell necklaces.
No. So I think those were my favorites. I also like Jennifer Lawrence's polka dots. I thought that was cute. And then I liked Margot Robbie's kind of like it was like a fancy Barbie dress that was black. And I know people were like, "Oh, it's like a protest cuz she's not wearing pink." But like the black dress is like a very famous Barbie dress. So, I still think she did it.
How about Emily Blunt's dress? What did you think of
Hated.
that? The hairstyle threw me off. I was like, that doesn't look like an Oscar hairstyle.
I just really did not like those shoulders, and it looked like kind of like underwear.
Florence
I-
Pugh had the shoulder things too.
Yeah,
Was it an
like,
Oppenhomies thing?
I don't know. It's like a new trend. But I did not like that trend very much.
And Emma Stone's outfit.
I liked the color. I did not like the peplum.
Oh, okay.
But everybody looks better than I'll ever look in my life, so doesn't matter anyway.
What else we got here?
Oh, and I thought everyone's makeup looked good. Everybody looked beautiful.
Well, after seeing how Emma Stone looked at times in Poor Things, like 2 days before, like she looked like a real person in, like at the Oscars. Like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have international feature film, which went to, no surprise, the Zone of Interest.
Yes.
Now, I had someone ask me, why was the Zone of Interest nominated and not Anatomy of a Fall? So anybody who doesn't know, the reason is because
Anatomy of Falls in part English.
no, that's not the reason is because each country gets a nominee, a finalist,
right,
and
right.
France didn't nominate Anatomy of a Fall,
Mhm.
and the movie that it did nominate
Didn't make it.
did not make the list of 5 nominees.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of the other 4. I really, really, really want to see Perfect Days, Society of the Snow, and The Teacher's Lounge. And I don't really know about Io Capitano. You just saw it the other day. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
With all your
It
new
was
best
good.
friends.
All
Yeah.
my new besties. Shout out everyone.
Do you have any
This
inside
is
jokes
always.
yet?
Yeah, we have a couple, but we can't release them to the general public yet. International feature is always one of my favorite categories. Tom, you had to see Perfect Days. Aaron, you had to see The Teacher's Lounge. Like,
Perfect
you
Days
guys were
seems
welcome.
literally like my perfect movie.
It's awesome. One of my this year of great endings in movie. That's one of my favorite endings is in Perfect Days. And even
Isn't that what
Teacher's
you
Lounge has a great ending.
That
We're gonna
gives
get to
away.
that too.
You actually just accidentally gave away one of my answers to something.
Oops.
But I'm glad we agree.
Yeah,
As
I mean,
always.
shout out. So what was funny to me was The Rock and Bad Bunny
Yeah.
doing Best International. Like, there's nobody funnier than me to introduce Best International Feature than The Rock. Like, there's no person that's like less fitting.
It was Bad Bunny's birthday.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bunny. But shout out to The Rock for pronouncing Vim Vender's name correctly.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's Best International Feature.
Yeah.
Then we
And
got
obviously, just want to say the streak continues. If you're ever nominated in Best International Feature and you're a Best Picture nominee,
You win.
you win.
Oh yeah, and Jonathan Glazer kind of caused a little bit of controversy, which I mean, I didn't think his speech was super controversial, but
It's not on the Oscars website now.
the Oscars did not post it. He just made comments about how the Zone of Interest is applicable to some current conflicts we have going on, and you would think that was not necessarily a mystery if you've seen the movie, but whatever. Next up, we have actor in a supporting role, which of course went to Robert Downey Jr. And he kind of gave a little bit of a flippant speech, I thought.
It's kind of his personality, though.
But he's funny enough to
Yes.
pull it off.
Yeah.
I did like how he opened, though, when he said, I would like to thank my terrible childhood and the Academy in that order.
Yeah, it's funny. Even though, like, did he have a terrible childhood? Is that like a known thing?
Well, apparently, like, when he was a kid, there was just, like, drugs everywhere.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not
Yes.
good.
Because I didn't watch... You watched the documentary, right, on his dad?
Yeah, Senior on Netflix, and they talk about it, how like he would just go in the kitchen and his parents would just have drugs and hang out with their friends and stuff, and just like always drinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the story of Downey. That like his speeches at the other televised award shows were very like classic now Downey of like high ego and stuff. And people thought for the Oscars he would kind of mention his dad, and he didn't even like mention his dad at all. For a guy that produced a full documentary about him and birthed you into the movie business, like
Right.
a little shout out to him.
And there's also the tiny bit of controversy about him not really acknowledging Kiwi Kwan, who
Yeah.
gave him handed him the award.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think people would have really cared if he wasn't like a beloved,
The nicest man.
the
to
nicest
ever
man on
live.
earth.
Yeah.
What did you think about? We didn't talk about this with actress. What did you think about them having like the past people sort of introduce each of the nominees?
I loved it. I thought
Me
that
too.
was really cool, and I love how random some of the people were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for best supporting actor, it was Kiwi Kwan. It was
Mahershala Ali, Sam Rockwell,
Christoph Waltz
Christoph Waltz,
Tim
and
Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Hmm.
Tim Robinson one day, hopefully.
Oh, hopefully.
Uh, I really liked it, even if it was kind of random and sort of as if they pulled some people out of a hat.
I don't care. I love it.
I like hearing from people that I haven't seen in a while, and those, at least those 4 who didn't win last year, haven't heard from them in a little bit. So it's nice to hear from those guys.
So for best supporting actor, I put Robert Downey Jr. as number 5.
So did I.
I put Mark Ruffalo at number 4, even though I thought he was great. It's not a bad thing. Number 3,
Even Downey, I had him at 5.
he
I thought
was
he was
good
good.
too. 3, I put Sterling K. Brown. Um, I think that his performance is actually underrated. I know he was nominated, but I think that like there's a lot more to it than people maybe are thinking. 2, I put Gosling, but that was like really hard for me because I think that his Ken is going to be an all-time iconic performance. But I was really blown away by Robert De Niro. Um, I think that his Killer's performance was one of his best I've ever seen from him. And I just think that it was like a really well done role.
My 5 were Downey Jr. 5th, and again, not that I thought he was bad. I thought he was fine. But I think that this was definitely a career award, which I will now be rechristening the Jamie Lee Curtis Career Award, for sure. And he deserves it. He's had a great career. He had an amazing comeback. He's made billions, movies, billions of dollars since he made his big comeback. And I think it was a makeup for Tropic Thunder. But number 4, I picked Sterling K. Brown. And while I do agree with you that his performance sneakily added a lot to that movie, I just thought Ruffalo was so freaking funny.
He is funny.
I put Ruffalo 3rd, and I put De Niro 2nd because I agree with you. But Ryan Gosling, I think this might be his career performance.
He was amazing.
And he's had a lot of amazing performances.
And he proved it during his I'm Just Ken performance.
Oh, yeah.
That stole the show.
Another one of my favorite moments of the night.
Amazing. Slash.
Oh, somebody said, I saw somebody read online. Somebody said, when Slash came on the screen, my wife was like, "Oh my God, Ozzy Osbourne's there," and I was like, "No way."
Nick, I'm interested in your ranking.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. I would do Downey as 5 as well. I think for a large cast ensemble like Oppenheimer, he definitely takes over in the 3rd act, but
Yeah, for sure.
for the rest of it, it's okay, and it's definitely a career achievement award, which is fine. 4, Sterling K. Brown. I just want a little bit more. I felt like his character just like drops out without any closure at the end. 3, I would go Robert De Niro. I think if circumstances were different, and I think this is just a case of how killers want to do their campaign. Like they put all in on Lily. If they want to make a little bit of the De Niro story, they easily could have. Like this is a huge role for him. He hasn't been this good in so long. Gosling as number 2, and Ruffalo. I love Ruffalo. Duncan, baby.
What do you think about? You liked him more than Defoe?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I remember there being a little bit of kind of like a 50-50 split between the two before the nominations were announced.
Yeah, well, look, Defoe, like he shows up the first, third, and then drops out, really, and then Ruffalo carries the second and the third. It comes back to Defoe at the end, but still.
Well, my thing is not even the way that it's structured. It's that, like, if we're talking acting, I've never seen Ruffalo act like that before. I've seen Dafoe be insane before. I've seen Dafoe be more insane than that.
Oh yeah. You
And I
can
thought
watch
that he was
Inside
great too.
from last year. He's crazy as well.
Which one?
Inside with the
Oh yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah,
But I
that
mean,
was
I'm thinking of even like The Lighthouse from 2019.
yeah, oh, yeah.
At
Um,
Eternity's Gate too.
Yeah, when he was Vincent Van Gogh. But so it's not, to me, it was nothing we haven't seen from Dafoe before. He's great at it. But I think that what would give the edge to me for Ruffalo is that I've never seen him that dastardly before.
I just want to say before they
yeah.
did the best supporting actor, they did a little tribute to the stunt category.
Oh yeah,
It felt like a little random, and I was thinking, are they going to announce
That's what I
now
thought.
that this is going to be a category for next year? I was like, this is weird. It was really awkward.
yeah.
And like it's always one of the potential new categories. So I was just curious if you guys, we have casting coming next year, but if there's to be another category down the road, would you want like stunt, voice performance, rising star?
I love a rising star.
Me too.
Oh yeah,
Like a best new artist at the Grammys.
Well,
Even though that doesn't always go right, but
no, especially because I feel like there's ageism where young people are way less likely to get nominated.
or for example, like we'll get clearly lead performances will get nominated for supporting for younger people.
yeah.
Yep.
Regardless of like performance itself.
Yep, exactly.
Like Dominic Sessa, he had equal screen time to Giamatti this year, and he was always supporting.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would have been a perfect category for him, Charles Melton. Even like Jacob Elordi, who hasn't been in like the Oscar categories yet, even though he's famous from Euphoria and all that, Priscilla and all that. But I think that would be the category to go for. And I don't think it should be actor and actress. I think it can be anybody.
Young performer.
Yeah. So hopefully they get to do that eventually. Next up is visual effects, which went to, I lost all the awards.
Godzilla, right?
Godzilla. Oh, that was
Godzilla.
awesome. That was not one of the most dynamic speeches of the night, but they got through it, and I'm happy for them. I just love the fact that it was like a $15 million budgeted movie that won visual effects.
So cool.
Yes.
I didn't see any of these
I
though.
lost the most sleep over.
You were pulling for them?
I was stressed picking this category. I was happy I actually did pick Godzilla.
Good. Did you want to do Mission Impossible?
Of course. Or for Uncle Nick Wance, the creator. But
Yeah, we should have him on for the Mission Impossible episode.
That actually
We should like alternate you guys or have you both on for one of them.
Oh my god. Yes. But yeah,
We'll talk off mic about that.
Yeah, definitely. I believe the stat with this one is obviously Godzilla, first Godzilla nomination ever. I think there's something with a film winning visual effects as its only win. I don't think that's happened in a very long time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Listener, do your own research.
Exactly.
And it's going to be Dune 2 next year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best merchandise. That's the award they should have in. Dune 2 will win that one.
Yeah, can we do a best merch?
Next up, we got film editing, which went to Oppenheimer, which was Oppenheimer's first win, I think, of the night, right?
Oh, you had Downey Jr.
Downey Jr., Tom.
Oh, duh, right. What a downer that was. Just kidding. Jennifer Lame was the editor, which was cool. We had, oh no, I thought this was a woman for Anatomy of a Fall. It's not. I was gonna say 3, but 2 were up. Of course, our girl Thelma for Killers of the Flower Moon
Always.
was up. This one, I think, is kind of a strange category because editing is so subjective. I think. I know a lot of people who did not like Oppenheimer's editing. Thought it was like too frenetic and sort of random. I liked it. I'm not like a mega film nerd like that though. Like I don't really know. I liked. I don't know what I would have given it to. Oppenheimer or Killers maybe, but I think it was a deserving win.
Yeah,
from a
sure.
voter perspective, like I don't think too many people know the in and outs of editing, so
No.
that's why editing a lot of times goes with the best picture winner.
Mm.
And a lot of people just go down the list and check the same box.
Mhm.
Right. What else we got? After that was Best Documentary Short, which went to The Last Repair Shop. Was that
Also
an
great.
upset? Because I remember hearing a lot about the ABCs of book banning.
There was a strong top 3 for this. ABC's of Book Banning, which has a catchy title, okay documentary. Last Repair Shop was LA based, and they had like a huge grant come in during voting, which is like a big news item.
Mm-hmm.
And also 99 and WIPO had a lot of buzz. They really pushed it hard at the end. I thought that was going to win. But Last Repair Shop won, and Chris Bowers won an Oscar, which is cool.
Yeah, they love him. He's been nominated twice before this, or at least once.
Yeah, he had the other
Concerto is a Conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I watched and it was cool. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
After that, we got Best Documentary Feature, which went to 20 Days in Marpole. I don't
All
think...
these sounded like such a barrel of laughs.
Oh man, the docs are tough. But
there was nothing. It was the saddest category ever. All 5 of them.
And I think that this was no surprise that this one won.
Great speech too.
I was just about to say that this was a great speech.
Mhm.
The director or whoever it was that was involved in it said, like, I wish we didn't have to make this movie because that would mean this war was not happening.
Yep.
So yeah. After that, we got Best Cinematography, which also went to Oppenheimer. It went to Hoyt van Hoytema, who was swagged out.
With his
shoes.
Tom loved his shoes.
Beautiful.
The shoes were awesome.
Beautiful stuff. And the hair. Yeah, I mean, I feel like cinematography, again, like some people were kind of iffy on Oppenheimer. But, I mean, all of these, I did end up watching El Conde. All 5 of these were really strong, I thought, in terms of cinematography. So, I mean, I might have gone Poor Things over Oppenheimer, but I can't complain about the Oppenheimer win.
Yeah, they had that narrative going that they created this certain IMAX film stock for, and that's just like revolutionary.
Yep. Best live action short. These to me again are always so like messy, but I didn't watch them this year. It went to The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which was Wes Anderson's first Oscar. He was not there.
Nope.
Rami Youssef and Issa Rae accepted the award on his behalf, who were the presenters. I love Wes Anderson not being there. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's iconic.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's very Wes Anderson to not be there because, well, first of all, I'm just gonna say people are like, "Oh, it's Wes Anderson's first Oscar." What Oscar has he really deserved? Let's be honest.
Screenplay for Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah,
Maybe, but it's not like it's like a long. It's not like it's like he had all these like massive like. This one was like, he had a couple. You know, Grand Budapest Hotel did well, but like it's not like he has like a massive list of. It's not like Scorsese finally winning for The Departed.
He's a very singular director, though, where like everyone knows his aesthetic, everyone knows his vibe.
Sure.
He's an auteur. Like, I feel like that's why.
yeah.
I mean, it's similar, I guess, as Christopher Nolan, but like,
Okay. Well, everyone was like, "Oh, finally, Christopher Nolan."
I
So
guess
there you go.
But I think Nolan has had bigger hits than Wes Anderson has.
Don't hate Wes Anderson.
I don't. I just said he pulled a great move. I love him not being there. It's the big I don't care about this energy. He was probably just like in France, like watching like Godard or something like that.
Who knows?
I just want to do a shout out.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Invincible is very solid, and Red, White, and Blue is very good. It has a twist, which got me.
Oh, that's the one with Brittany Snow.
Yeah. So, recommend that. Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar is on Netflix. It's very Wes Anderson. If you like Wes Anderson, you'll like it. If you don't, you won't like it.
There you
He
go.
put a bunch out, right? Like 3 or 4?
3 or 4. Yeah. And they're going to, of course, put them all together as one now.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
And they're all based on Roald Dahl stories?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I did want to watch them. I know I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I
Mm-hmm.
do want to watch them. After that, we had Best Sound, which I wouldn't say it was a shock, but definitely I think was a minor upset with Zone of Interest beating Oppenheimer.
Yes.
I don't know where the precursors went, but
Zone won BAFTA.
yeah, that's true. But this was one of the few categories that I think was really not entirely settled. But I think that's awesome. I think that Oppenheimer sound was great, but I think that Zone of Interest sound
was the movie
without that sound design, it's not the Zone of Interest.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
They even said when they
It
accepted
was-
the award, like, thank you for actually listening in and watching this movie. Like,
Yeah.
if you watched it, you understood.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
blown away by it. I thought it was like a horrifying movie.
Yeah.
Best original score, went to Oppenheimer, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Ludwig.
His second
Yeah,
one.
I listened to all of them. I didn't see Indiana Jones, so I didn't get that in the context of the movie. But I think Oppenheimer is clearly the number one here. Poor Things, I love the little storytelling aspect of it.
Mhm.
I think that's awesome. But I mean, Oppenheimer, the score keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole movie. It reminded me of the Dunkirk score,
Mm-hmm.
which had a similar effect on
They
me.
both had violins.
Yeah, and they were both just very like urgent.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out American Fiction. I like that little jazzy score.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool too.
Yeah, they were all good. And then the Killers had with the native aspects to it. Robbie Robertson, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it was all of it was good.
mm-hmm. And then Indiana Jones was John Williams.
So that's gonna be good too.
Then we had Best Original Song, so we can kind of talk about the performances as well.
Justice for Flaming Hot.
Justice for the Fire Inside. Diane.
No words. She's
so
at
what was
South by Southwest this week. She has a documentary coming out about her.
Oh,
Is she gonna? How funny would it be if she won for documentary?
Oh my god.
you know there's an original song in there somewhere.
Without a doubt.
I can't.
Remember, did you ever watch? We watched that video of her singing the one time, and she was like, "I can't sing at all."
She's kind of amazing.
I love Diane
I kind
Warren.
of love Diane Warren.
I've turned the other way on her now. What Was I Made For from Barbie won Billie Eilish and Phineas. Not a surprise.
Nope.
But in my opinion, the Jamie Lee Curtis Award for not the best performance in your own movie.
I think I'm Just Ken deserve the win.
Especially if we're going off the performance. Not that Billie Eilish was bad. I thought her performance was great. I'm Just Ken was a showstopper.
Well, and I feel like I will say, What Was I Made For became like a popular song. Period.
And optics wise,
Probably a good idea.
I totally understand it. I'm not saying that.
But as far as its kind of like pop culture sensationalism, I feel like I'm Just Ken was part of the zeitgeist of Barbie.
He made a Christmas
Without a
album
doubt.
cover of it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm team I'm Just Ken. I'm sorry.
I would give I'm Just Ken performance a 10.
15
Oh,
out of
yeah.
10.
Without a
That
doubt.
was
Yeah. Well, I'm just rhyming with Ken.
amazing.
It was awesome.
I didn't get to see the John Batiste song. I don't remember. It might have been like Letting April Out or something.
It was fine.
Yeah, it looked nice. It was
yeah.
well shot.
And I really liked the Killers of the Flower Moon
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a really, really cool moment. And then Becky G did The Fire Inside, which was, we said it was a perfect Eurovision song,
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
which is a compliment in some ways.
It would probably make the final.
It would make the final of Eurovision for sure.
It sounded like the
But the
El
Barbie,
Diablo song. El Diablo.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
one, was that Spain the one year or something? But I think that the clear three strongest were I'm Just Ken, What Was I Made For, and then the Killers song
For
for My
sure.
People. After that, we got actor in a leading role. We're hitting our final four here. And that, of course, went to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
I had him as my number one, and then I had Giamatti as 2, Jeffrey Wright as 3, Coleman Domingo as 4, and I think he gave a better performance in Color Purple.
Yeah.
And 5, Bradley Cooper.
We're not Maestro heads.
We're not Maestro heads.
I
Maybe his
had-
next one.
I had the exact same top 5.
I think I have the same 5 as well. Yeah. Maybe switch Giamatti and Wright, but
I almost switched those two, but I didn't.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Jeffrey Wright is I feel like he really, really, as we talked about in our episode, really like infused that character with likability with that I don't know if it would have had on the page.
He was wonderful.
There was a great acting performance by him, but Giamatti was like born to play that character. So it was just kind of a. But Murphy, really good winner. Again, held together a 3-hour movie, which is an achievement in
And
itself.
classy coming on stage, shaking everyone's hand. Like, he is.
Unlike
At
his
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Unlike his Oppenhomie. Yeah, I don't think there's much to be said there. I agree on Coleman Domingo. I thought he was better in Color Purple. Rustin, he was a little cartoony. The movie in general just didn't really hit.
Not for
For me.
me either.
But he's great. He's going to be the Michael Jackson's dad in
Yeah.
the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out. So
I like Coleman.
I think he showed in The Color Purple that he can play that type of character.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I just like randomly got this energy of like just going through these acting categories. It just gets me so excited just to see what these people are going to do next. And like we're gonna go with actors like Lily Glass. I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do next. Their projects are gonna be. I hope they just don't do like
Yeah.
crap roles and crap movies, and they actually get something pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, I've now seen Lily in like 3 or 4 movies, and she picks her roles really well. She may not pick big hits until now, in terms of like box office and all that, but she's amazing.
She is amazing.
I don't have who presented Best Actor. It was like Brendan Fraser, Nicolas
Ben
Cage,
Kingsley.
Forrest Whitaker,
McConaughey.
Ben Kingsley, and McConaughey.
There you go.
McConaughey looked like he spent a little bit too much time in the tanning bed. He
And
fried
of course,
a little
Nicolas
bit.
Cage was amazing.
Cage,
funny.
I love when he was like, "Would I have done all that stuff? Hell yeah!" Best Director, of course, went to Christopher Nolan, which we knew. This was one of those rare seasons where like we watched Oppenheimer in the summer, and I'm pretty sure on our Barbenheimer episode or shortly after we said Oppenheimer's going to win like most of the awards, and we were right. Which is a lot of times you get stuff that sneaks in at the end. This was not that season.
No.
Um,
So
yeah, go ahead.
let's see. You know who I put in number 5. I'm not a big Yorgos Lanthimos gal over here. 4, I put Scorsese, but he did. I mean, I liked Killers a lot.
I thought all
lot.
5 of these were really good.
Justine Triet for Anatomy of Fall for 3, Jonathan Glazer for 2 for Zone of Interest, and then I put Christopher Nolan as number 1. And I am not a Nolan fangirl, but I loved Oppenheimer.
Mine, somewhat similar. I had Scorsese 5th, which is again not a shot at him. I think I've kind of seen stuff like that before from Scorsese. I know what Scorsese can do, and he did it well.
Yeah.
Number 4, I put Yorgos. Poor Things is a movie that is like, you got to have a handle on that content, and I thought he really did. I thought it was great. I thought he was great.
Sure.
Justine Triet, number 3, kind of the same thing with Anatomy of a Fall. It was a really off-kilter courtroom drama, and I thought she knocked it out of the park. Number 2, I put Nolan, because while he did an excellent job on Oppenheimer, and I really liked Oppenheimer, he didn't reinvent the wheel, really, for me. Glazer did reinvent the wheel, in my opinion. He was my number 1. Zone of Interest is unlike any movie I've ever seen. It's one of the scariest horror movies I've ever seen in my life. And Glazer's wild.
He was wild.
I would give them all 1/5 of the award. I really,
It is an
lineup,
excellent year.
It's a great lineup. I can't rank them.
That's fair.
Awesome.
Actress in a leading role, which was the controversial-ish moment of the night.
It's the only one we got wrong out of
Yep.
our predictions.
Yep, Emma Stone took it away for Poor Things.
So let's see here. I did number 5, Carrie Mulligan. 4, Sandra Huller. 3, Annette Bening, because I really liked Naiad.
Naiad Hive.
Yeah.
2, I put Lily Gladstone, who I picked for winning. And I put Emma Stone as number 1. I did not love Poor Things. I felt like there were just, I don't know, some messaging issues for me as a woman. I don't know. I just felt like it was very obviously written by a man. And there's some stuff in it that I understand the point of it, but as a woman, I just don't like the content with Emma Stone's character being an infant, and I know that it's metaphorical. I still don't like it. But Emma Stone was just absolutely amazing. Like, career best for her in a career of bests. Like, she's amazing. So I picked her as my number 1. But I still felt like a little like, oh wow, when she won.
Yeah. I had Carrie Mulligan 5. I had Annette Bening 4, who I also thought was good. I had Sandra Huller 3, and I think that in many other years she would have been a favorite. She would have been in the top 1 or 2 as like through the whole season, like very good chance of winning. Just not this season. I had Lily Gladstone 2, who I also thought was going to win, and I had Emma Stone number 1. But I agree. When Emma Stone won, I wasn't necessarily happy.
I know.
Because I wanted to see Lily win because her performance was incredible, and of course it would have made history, and it was totally deserving of making history. Emma Stone, I just think, if we're talking lead actress, carried Poor Things. And while Lily was narratively, you could argue, a lead, she wasn't, runtime-wise, she wasn't in it quite as high of a percentage as Emma Stone was in Poor Things, just carrying it from start to finish.
For sure.
Yeah, I would do Carrie 5.
I'm glad you didn't end up being a Maestro head. It would have been tough.
Yeah, I'm not a Maestro head. I saw it in a theater. I was with a lot of old people. They didn't like it. I'm one of them.
Wow. Shout out Grandpa Phil as well.
My dad hated Maestro.
Yeah. Yeah. What could have been, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do something again like that. I'm
It
sure.
could have been Wedding Crashers too.
Annette Bening. Old people performances, we need more of them. Like, I think what she did. Okay, yeah, there was body doubles, but it's still a very impressive performance by.
Chill.
Annette Bening.
No body doubles. That was Annette out there doing her
True,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise.
Yeah. Lily 3. I respect that it's always been told that it was her choice to run lead. She could have ran supporting actress and ran away with it, but she wanted to be lead, which I fully respect. Sandra Huller number 2 and Emma Stone number 1. And Aaron, I just want to say, like, what you said, like, you didn't vibe with Poor Things. Perfectly cool. But for you to be able to separate the movie and the performance is awesome. Like, for you to respect that, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We didn't do that with Maestro.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
no.
Just kidding.
No, we did not.
And then
Snoopy. I liked Snoopy and Maestro.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant Snoop from Anatomy of a Fall.
I liked him too.
It was also great. Best Picture, finally, Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Basically wire to wire, number 1.
Yeah.
And that never was really a threat to Oppenheimer once Barbie fell off.
I will say this. When I did my rankings for Best Picture, I found it hard. I think that
I found it extremely difficult this year.
there were like different chunks of like, I could have just mixed a whole bunch of movies up in there. So,
It almost would have been easier to make a tier list instead of ranking,
yeah.
but we didn't.
I love a 10 movie field. I love that.
When
So,
they're
like,
good, like this year.
Yeah. So number 10, Maestro. Unfortunately, not my fave. 9, I put Poor Things. Again, I respect the art of it. I get it, but not my fave. 8, I put Past Lives. If it was 2014, I would have been all in for this movie. 7, I did Anatomy of a Fall. 6, American Fiction. I put Barbie at 5 because I think that I love the levity of it and I loved Ryan Gosling. 4, I did Zone of Interest just because I loved the uniqueness of it and the visceral reaction. I was like nauseous while watching it, and that always makes a deep impression on me when I can have like a visceral reaction to a movie.
It was really hard to watch.
And it was a really new take on the way that movies that take place during the Holocaust were presented, and I appreciate that new look at it. 3, I did Killers of the Flower Moon, which I liked a lot more than I expected. I really, really enjoyed it. 2, I did The Holdovers, which I love a heartwarming traditional movie that doesn't reinvent the wheel. I always like those. And
Alexander
then,
Payne is good at those.
he's great at those. And then Oppenheimer I put as number 1. I usually don't like biopics. I usually am not a huge Christopher Nolan fan, and I usually don't like movies that are over 3 hours long, over 2 hours long. So the fact that I really liked Oppenheimer like a lot shot it to the top of my list.
My number 10 is Maestro. We've probably spoken enough about Maestro.
Yes.
Then number 8 and number 9 I could have alternated. When I wrote this, I did Barbie number 9, Past Lives number 8. I thought they were both really good. Just didn't really, smash my brain apart. 4 through 7, kind of the same thing. Number 7, I went with American Fiction. Just didn't really hit that next level for me. Anatomy of a Fall, kind of the same thing. Like, I thought it was really good, and the lead performance was awesome, and it had a great supporting performance by the lawyer. Number 5, Poor Things, which I did not love in the first half. Then the second half really, really got going, and then there was like the part with her husband in the last like 20 minutes that I just didn't really think was necessary. But overall, super unique. And then number 4, Killers of the Flower Moon. Scorsese doing his thing. Big improvement on the Irishman. We did a good Killers of the Flower Moon episode, I thought.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Then my top 3 again. It could have been at any different point. Could have been a different 3, but when I made my ranking, it was number 3, The Holdovers. Big Payne fan. Big Giamatti fan, big Sessa fan, big Randolph fan, all of it. Very good. Oppenheimer number 2, because as I mentioned with Best Director, it kind of like, it took a bunch of things that I normally don't like, and it, made it into an excellent movie. And then number 1, Zone of Interest, the most unique movie I saw this year. Just blew me away. It was one of those where like I watched it and the ending hit and I was like, I don't know. And then like I slept on it and I thought about it and I was like, wow. Like the whole thing with him going up and down the stairs and then his body like rejecting the evil that he had been perpetrating the whole movie. And then he just sort of tidies up and goes down and goes back down to like join the party or whatever. It was just such a like disgusting moment.
Well, and plus you've got the whole museum aspect where nowadays it's almost sanitized the way that it's presented this time period. And to kind of have that contrast of you as a viewer hopefully having this major visceral reaction to what you're experiencing firsthand, which is nothing compared to the realities of what was happening. And now it being just like a tourist attraction that you can go and visit. And then they do, the cleaners just, going about their day cleaning for the next day of sanitizing it, I think is a really interesting way to do it.
Someone made the point comparing it to older Jonathan Glazer movies, that thinking that the character was literally envisioning that in the future, because there's a lot of surrealism in some of Glazer's other movies.
Sure.
So that was sort of a nod to his like previous art like that.
Sure.
Because it sort of cuts from him to the future back to him.
Yes.
So, and that was when he was like throwing up, and I think was literally the metaphor of his body rejecting everything that he'd been doing. Like one last gasp of humanity was just leaving
His body.
Yeah, I thought it was just chilling. Your thoughts, Nick?
10 Maestro. Duh. The other 9, honestly, like ask me in 5 minutes, I'll change my list.
Yeah,
probably.
I hear you.
I'm just
You can just give
say-
like your top 3 if you want. Like write this like as we speak.
I will say people know I'm a crier at movies, so if I cry, you get extra points. These movies probably aren't better than the other ones, but since I cried, I move them up. Barbie and Past Lives, I teared up in those movies, so they're in the upper part. My top 3 as of 8:51 on March 11th: Anatomy of a Fall, Oppenheimer, and Holdovers. Holdovers, I
Cool.
think, will stay in one. Like, I'm a sucker for a basic movie like that. Just
Yes.
all about the feels. If you put that on, I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely the one of these that I could rewatch them. That and probably Barbie.
Yeah.
I could probably rewatch the most.
Oh, Barbie I could put on anytime. I thought 2023 was the year of interesting endings to movies. I thought that the ending, I loved the last 10 minutes of Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought it was a really wonderful way to show how, as a society, we're all complicit in this true crime kind of obsession that people have, and how Martin Scorsese, by putting himself in that movie in the end, he's kind of acknowledging his own kind of role in using this as entertainment, even if it's meant to inform and help you empathize. I thought that was really thoughtful. The end of Oppenheimer, I thought was really lovely. The last line or two. Barbie has a very memorable final line, which I really enjoyed and thought was fun. And people either loved it or really didn't like it, which I think is amazing. Anatomy of a Fall. I really liked the ending of that one.
With Messi.
With the dog. And it kind of made me kind of like be like, well, the dog ends up cuddling up with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think she didn't do it, because dogs, they know. So I thought that was interesting. Maestro, the literal only part of that movie I really liked was the last 10 seconds of that movie.
You were literally like, oh, this is great. And
Yeah.
then Maestro came across the screen, and then the credits rolled.
I loved the ending of Maestro. I liked the cinematography in Maestro too. There were things I liked about that movie. And American Fiction had a really thoughtful ending as well, that I really enjoyed. And then, I mean, shout out to Saltburn, which had a wonderful ending that made the whole, Murder on the Dance Floor is the song of the season.
May December also had a great ending.
May December's ending was really lovely. And really thoughtful and interesting.
We just talked about Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest, we just talked about the ending, which was very powerful, and you could kind of think about it in a million different ways.
Holdovers had a nice little Castaway style fork in the road ending.
Fork in the road ending. And Past Lives had a very bittersweet ending, which I thought was very kind of reminiscent of the whole movie, and the whole point of the movie kind of wrapped up in that little ending there.
Yep.
Golda.
Poor Things too.
And Poor Things had an interesting ending as well. I thought it was a year of great endings.
Golda?
Yeah, Golda ended, which was a great ending.
And that always helps too in some movies.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on all the endings. I think that was very indicative of how great this year was.
It was a good year.
2024 has a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again for coming on. We always love talking Oscars.
This is what I live for. Thank you so much for having me, as always.
I know that you are as happy as that the season is over
So happy.
as we are, because while it was very fun, happy to get back to stuff that we're actively seeking out and looking forward to.
Yeah, so like next week, you could all come by and listen to Mission Impossible.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing Irish Wish first.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, how could you forget the Lindsay Lohan Netflix movie that hasn't come out yet? I think it comes out the 15th.
We gotta get to it.
We got to do a quick turnaround. Let me double check that. Yeah, so next week we're going to be doing Irish Wish, the Lindsay Lohan film, also starring Aisha Curry. Comes out the 15th. So we're going to have to do a quick turnaround on that, which is Friday. So I have to watch it Friday, record Saturday. Fresh in our memories.
Doable.
We've probably done like 7 Lindsay Lohan movies at this point, or 6.
And it's gonna keep on rolling. I Know Who Killed Me.
As long as she keeps doing like random Hallmark-esque Netflix movies, we're going to keep doing them.
We will be seated.
You should do a
Go back and listen to our Falling for Christmas episode.
create
please.
a separate letterbox
Please.
account with the stat feature and log all the movies and see.
Honestly, we should. I have a Baby's First Watch List letterbox. I just haven't updated it. Follow us on Baby's First Watch List on Letterboxd. I'm going to update
Yes.
it with all the movies we've watched. And I can link to the episodes too in the reviews.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so thanks again for coming on for our Oscars episode, and we'll have you on soon. Hopefully we'll do something for Mission Impossible. We'll have to figure all that out. If not the first one, then the second one, because I know that's the one that is like supposed to be not as good as all the other
John
ones.
Woo, baby.
See, exactly. So it might be fun to have some guests on for that one.
For sure.
Sweet.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts on the Oscars this year?
Nope. Happy it's over. On to Dune 2 tomorrow night.
Yes, you are, not us. But
Nope. Get us a popcorn bucket.
Will do.
oh god. All right, so we will see you all next week for Irish Wish. Please join us next week for Irish Wish. We're gonna need some listeners for this one.
All right. Goodbye.
See you later.